On March 4, 1918, the USS Cyclops departed from Barbados with 309 people aboard. It was a massive ship, over 500 feet long, carrying thousands of tons of cargo. It sent no distress signal. No wreckage was ever found. The ocean simply swallowed it whole. And to this day, nobody knows what happened. This is one of the greatest naval mysteries in history. And it's not alone. The ocean has claimed hundreds of ships under circumstances so strange, so inexplicable, that they defy conventional explanation. These aren't myths. These are documented disappearances. Real vessels. Real crews. Real mysteries. We like to think we understand the ocean. We have satellites. We have GPS. We have advanced sonar and submersibles that can dive deeper than ever before. But the truth is simpler and more terrifying. We don't understand the ocean at all. And the ocean is still killing ships. In 1872, a merchant ship called the Mary Celeste set sail from New York to Italy. It was a routine voyage. Nothing suggested danger. But when the ship was discovered weeks later, it was floating silently in the Atlantic Ocean with no crew aboard. The cargo was intact. The ship's log was intact. A meal was still sitting on the table, still warm. But the crew? All 10 of them had vanished without explanation. No lifeboats were missing. There was no sign of struggle. There were no bodies. It was as if the crew simply walked off the ship and disappeared into thin air. And despite centuries of investigation, nobody has ever solved what actually happened. The Mary Celeste has become legend. But it wasn't unique. The Bermuda Triangle, that infamous stretch of ocean between Florida, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, has claimed more ships than anywhere else on Earth. Over 500 years, hundreds of vessels have vanished in this triangular patch of water. Some disappeared in perfect weather. Some were found completely empty. Some were never found at all. The Flight 19 incident is one of the most famous. On December 5, 1945, 5 Navy bombers took off from Florida on a routine training mission. They had excellent visibility, perfect weather, experienced pilots. But within hours, all 5 planes had vanished. The last radio transmission from the flight leader was haunting. He said the water didn't look right. He said everything looked wrong. And then the signal went dead. A search and rescue plane was dispatched to find them. That plane vanished too. 5 trained military aircraft, all equipped with modern navigation equipment, all piloted by experienced aviators, simply disappeared. No wreckage was ever recovered. The military launched the largest search operation of its time. They found nothing. 6 aircraft. 27 men. Gone. But the Bermuda Triangle isn't the only place where ships vanish mysteriously. In 1968, the USS Scorpion submarine departed for the Mediterranean Sea. It was a state-of-the-art nuclear attack submarine. Skipjack class. The best technology the Navy had. 99 officers and men aboard. It was supposed to be unsinkable. On May 21, 1968, it sent its final radio message. Then nothing. The Navy launched a massive search. Months passed. Then in October 1968, deep-sea imaging equipment located the Scorpion's remains on the seafloor, over 10,000 feet down. The hull was torn apart by violent forces. The sail had ripped free. The bow was smashed. The stern was telescoped backward. Something had destroyed this submarine with catastrophic force. But what? The wreck told no clear story. The damage pattern didn't match any known scenario. Even today, we don't know what happened to the Scorpion. Modern science has finally begun to explain some of these mysteries. And the explanations are worse than the mysteries themselves. Because the ocean, it turns out, is far more violent and dangerous than we ever realized. One of the primary culprits is methane hydrate explosions. Beneath the continental shelves, there are enormous deposits of frozen methane. When these deposits become unstable, they can release catastrophically. A single methane eruption can reduce the water's density so dramatically that it can no longer support a ship's weight. A vessel that was floating moments before simply sinks like a stone. Ships have disappeared in what locals call methane zones. Then there are rogue waves. These aren't the normal waves you see at the beach. These are walls of water, sometimes over 100 feet tall, that appear seemingly out of nowhere. They strike with the force of an explosion. Ships have been hit by rogue waves, so powerful that they left dents the size of swimming pools in the hull. Cargo containers the size of houses have been washed overboard like toys. Modern container ships, massive vessels weighing thousands of tons, have been sunk by single waves. The ocean floor itself is unstable. Underwater earthquakes are common. They trigger submarine landslides. They create abyssal whirlpools. They send pressure waves through the water that can crush a ship's hull. These events happen constantly in the deep ocean. But occasionally, a vessel is in the wrong place at the wrong time, and the ocean claims another victim. The Titanic went down in 1912. But its story doesn't end with the sinking. When the wreck was finally discovered in 1985, over 70 years later, researchers descended 2 miles underwater. What they found challenged everything we thought we knew. The ship was on the ocean floor, 12,500 feet below the surface, in darkness, in crushing pressure, and the damage pattern was wrong. The official explanation had always been simple. The ship's hull was breached by an iceberg. But the actual damage was far more complex. There were structural failures that couldn't be explained by a simple collision. The metal showed signs of extreme stress. The way the ship had broken apart suggested it had experienced forces far greater than what an iceberg alone could have caused. Was it a rogue wave? An underwater shelf? Seismic activity? We still don't have a complete picture of what happened. There's also the matter of what we simply don't know. We've explored only about 5% of the ocean. The remaining 95% is essentially unmapped. It's a vast frontier of darkness and unknown forces. Creatures we've never seen live in those depths. Geological formations we don't understand exist down there. Currents we haven't documented flow through those waters. Every year, new trenches are discovered. New hydrothermal vents are found. New species are identified. The Cyclops was never found. No wreckage. No bodies. No explanation. It simply vanished from the surface of the Earth. And somewhere, in the depths of the Atlantic Ocean, it's still down there. Still keeping it secret. Still reminding us that the ocean is the final frontier on our planet. And it's still claiming ships. We've mapped the moon. We've sent rovers to Mars. But the ocean? The ocean still keeps its secrets. The ocean is older than human civilization. It's deeper than our understanding. It's more powerful than our technology. And it's still keeping its secrets. And it's still killing ships. And we still don't know why.